In this episode, we're going to look at three more of the Beatles albums, including their last two. Now, we're going to start with the White Album, and I realize we're a little bit out of order, but I included Yellow Submarine in the previous episode because that kind of fits that psychedelic period. The three albums here, the White Album, Abbey Road, and Let It Be, all have a similar kind of vibe to them. And as before, I'm going to try to pick just one song from each album which was not a hit. So let's head down that long and winding road, shall we? Let's drop the needle. Realizing that they needed to come down from the trippy experiences of Sgt. Pepper's and Magical Mystery Tour, the Beatles start work on a massive double album. The White Album is a double, sprawling album with a ton of great songs on it. So since it's a double album, I'm going to pick one song from each disc. So let's start with the listing on disc 1. Amazingly, with all the great music on these two discs, no singles were released. All right, here we go. First cut. Well, we're going to lose Obla Di Bla Da, a catchy song of Paul's, but it grated on the nerves of the other three Beatles. In fact, they hated it. We'll cut Paul's music hall number, Wild Honey Pie. The continuing story of Bungalow Bill that even John says is a bit odd. Martha, My Dear, Paul's ode to his dog. Piggies, George's Orwellian tribute. Don't Pass Me By. Ringo's given it all his best, but it's out. And frankly, the embarrassing Why Don't We Do It in the Road. This is just Paul being juvenile. Any of your faves been cut yet? Here comes the second cut. The first one to go is Dear Prudence. Now, it's a great song written by John while he was in India about Mia Farrow's sister, Prudence. Another one of John's songs to get the cut is Glass Onion. It's just him being obtuse and then trying to confuse Beatle fans who are looking for meanings in the lyrics. Another John song, I'm So Tired. Frankly, his earlier I'm Only Sleeping from a few years earlier is a much better track. Now one from Paul's getting the axe, Blackbird, and I know a lot of people love this song, and it is a great song, but it's been overplayed in my memory. And there are two heartfelt songs that are also going to be cut. John's Julia about his mum, and Paul's I Will. Okay, the final cut. 4 left. Now this gets really tough. These are great songs. What can you say about Happiness is a Warm Gun? John sings his heart out, but the sentiment and some of the lyrics are, well, Paul parodies the Beach Boys with the great Back in the USSR, but with current events, it's out. And then there's George's spectacular While My Guitar Gently Weeps, with a terrific solo by Eric Clapton that supposedly was a one-take wonder. Well, you guessed it. I'm picking the Crazy Rocky Raccoon. Why? Because it just always makes me smile. Okay, now I'm sure some of you are getting pretty upset. Let's go to disc 2 and see what I'm going to pick. All right, here we go. First cut. We're going to say goodbye to John's embarrassing rocker. Everybody's got something to hide except for me and my monkey. Is he really talking about him and Yoko? We'll also get rid of John's swipe at the Maharishi. We'll lose Sexy Sadie. And George's dirge-like long, 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 which is just exactly that. Ringo's crooning on Goodnight. It's come out recently that John wrote this about his son Julian and actually recorded a demo of him singing it himself. But when it came time to record the track for this record, John became self-conscious and recruited Ringo to sing it. And there's another music hall ditty from Paul, Honey Pie. We'll cut that one as well. And then, of course, there's Revolution number 9. I don't care if you call it avant-garde. I really tried hard to get into it, but for me, it's just a waste of vinyl, and I skip over it now. Now we get to the second cut, and we're going to lose Mother Nature's Son, because they've done similar songs in the past better. We'll lose Revolution 1. Yeah, it's interesting, but I like the single better. It rocks. We're going to lose George's rocker, Savoy Truffle. which is actually about Eric Clapton's Sweet Tooth, and John's Cry Baby Cry, which really doesn't go anywhere. Final cut. We're left with three. One song inspired by The Who, and the Beatles wanted to make the loudest record ever made, and that's Helter Skelter. One song that they recorded in a closet live at Abbey Road Studios, that's Your Blues. And one song that is just a rollicking good time, and that's Birthday. Okay, which one am I going to pick? I'm going with Birthday, because it gets played at this household almost every year. Okay, this keeps getting harder. Now we get to Abbey Road. Here's the familiar track listing. Now, there were two singles released from this album, So Something and Come Together are right out. For the first cut, Bang Bang, Maxwell's Silver Hammer, you're out. Ringo's Octopus's Garden seems to me that he was trying to relive Yellow Submarine. John's truncated Mean Mr. Mustard and Polythene Pam get cut from the second side medley. And the hidden bonus track about that pretty girl, Her Majesty, yeah, it's cut. Second cut, and again, this just keeps getting harder. It's hard to bust up the medley on side 2, but we have already removed Mean Mr. Mustard and Polythene Pam. So now let's cut Sun King with its gibberish language ending. Paul's She Came In Through the Bathroom Window. And we're also going to lose Golden Slumbers and Carry That Weight. Now for the final cut, we're left with 5 amazing songs. How are we going to narrow this down to just one? We got Oh Darlin', I Want You, She's So Heavy, Here Comes the Sun, Because, and The End. How are we going to cut this down to one song? Well, there's one song that stands out that really shows how well the Beatles harmonized together, how well their voices meshed together. And John came up with it by listening to Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata and asking Yoko to put the melody backwards for him. And of course, the song that I'm picking is Because. All right, now the last album released, but remember, not the last album recorded. Abbey Road was recorded as the last album. This one just took forever to put together. And if you saw Peter Jackson's documentary, you know the whole story about Let It Be. Here's the track listing of the original album produced by Phil Spector. There were 4 songs released as singles from this album, so we'll say goodbye to Let It Be, The Long and Winding Road, For You Blue, and the title track, Get Back. Okay, first cut. Let's get rid of Dig It. It's not even really a song, it's kind of more of a jam. And Maggie May, it goes. It's fun to hear the Beatles attack this old waterfront song, but it goes. One After 909. A fun song, as it was one of the first that John and Paul wrote together. And it sounds like it. Now we get to the second cut. I'm going to cut Dig a Pony. It's miles better than Dig It, but it's out. We're going to lose George Waltz's I Me Mine, a weird title from the guy that supposedly was not egocentric. Now, I'm sorry to cut this next one because it is a charming song, and it's great to see John and Paul playing and singing so close together. But I'm going to cut 2 of us. For our final cut, that leaves just 2. The great song, I Got a Feeling, which is a Paul song cut together with a John song. And it's amazing how well they work together and how well they contrast each other. And in fact, the tour that Paul's on right now, he gets to sing this song with the isolated vocals of John from the rooftop. So in concert, Paul's actually doing a duet with John Lennon. I'm going to have to let it go and pick as my favorite from the album, John's Across the Universe. It's just an incredible song. Let's do a quick recap of what I picked. 13 albums full of songs that I love. I've memorized all of them. They are the soundtrack to my life. This is much harder than I thought it would be. And I'm sure that if you've made your list, it's much different than mine. And I'd like us to keep that conversation going. I'd like to see what you picked. And to be honest, if I had to do this next week, I might have different songs, because part of the beauty about Beatles music is how it hits you at the moment that you listen to it. It's funny, Paul McCartney said he can't pick his favorite song because they're all his children. Well, John, Paul, George, and Ringo, you created an amazing family, allowed me to have a lot of fun, and certainly kept us rocking through the years. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And remember that in the end, oh, you know the rest. And keep a rockin'. If you liked this episode, hit the like button. And you can also leave me a comment down below, and I'll respond to you. If you subscribe, we'll let you know when future episodes come out.